And it's Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services Talking Business. Today in White Plains, New York, we had a chance to visit the head offices of Graham Stanley Advertising, and their CEO, Larry Woodard, is a good friend. He's had a terrific career in media, does a lot of work in the auto industry, music, military support, quite a number of fields. Larry, good to see you.
Good to see you as well, Ken.
Larry, it's been an era last year of tremendous growth in social media in terms of budgets applied to it, in terms of reach of social media, in terms of the amount of messages you can reach to customers. What are some of the key trends that you've been seeing this year in use of social media by major brands?
That's actually an excellent question because I do think that we've reached sort of a tipping point. For a long time, companies said that we've got to be involved because their feeling was everybody else is there, so there must be something that they need to do, so that they need to be involved. Recently, what's happened is that a lot of people have been challenging their investment, and they've been trying to get more scientific or get more rigor around what they've been doing. So we've been seeing a tremendous amount of activity in big data, a tremendous amount of activity in sort of how do you do the quantification piece? How do you make sure that that you're mining the right sources and that you are actually getting good data about the people who you're out there trying to reach, and then you're taking that and applying that to your overall digital marketing efforts?
Well, we've seen a lot of discussion about enterprise-level social media in our series about how brands and in particular banks may use social media to reach their customers, stay in touch. And planning is one of the words that comes out more and more, how you have to plan your campaign, plan your effort for the year, major initiatives, events that you are going to hold that you may want to be able to reach your customers at a trade convention, for example. When you talk with a client about planning their campaign, what are some of the fundamentals that you work with them on?
That also is a great question. So generally speaking, when a client works in digital, there's two different kinds of clients. One kind of client is the client that's going to be coming and they're going to mine their own data. So they've got data from past customers. They have a big database that they want to then take and be more efficient with the way that they go at it. The second are people who are going to use a third-party source to go out and figure out how to use the internet to be able to market to their companies. For the people who are going to mine their own data, and they're going to be cross-function, so accounting and receivables and those people working along with the marketing department. That's really a difficult. Sometimes you're changing even the way your culture works inside. If you are a company that's going out to use a third-party company, then the planning looks very much like the standard media and marketing planning, where you decide, who your core customer is, and then you put together a campaign. Then you figure out what your KPIs and your metrics are going to be. Then you launch it, and then you come back and you look at how it performed against those metrics.
Very good. Well, one of the things that you mentioned is the importance of micro-influencers, people who are their opinion, their viewpoint about products and services is valued by many, and they're able to build distribution on social media. We've seen a few in the credit card industry who are very active in writing and describing different offers and values of benefits on credit cards. What is the value of a micro-influencer? Why should brands cultivate them?
Right. So the first thing that people did when social media started to really grow is just look at the numbers game. And they would say, okay, well, somebody who has 50 million followers is better than somebody who has 10,000 followers. And so they were buying based on that. And they thought that influence was something that perhaps was homogeneous, so they would just go out and they would say, okay, well, I've got Kim Kardashian and she's got 10 billion followers, so that if I go out and she promotes my product, I'm going to get people to use it. And what they found is that they had very spotty results when they did that. But they also found that when they were able to find data that really talked about, well, what did move the needle, that oftentimes it was somebody localized. It was someone that people really knew. They believed that the person had information that they could follow and trust, and that person was moving the needle a lot more than some of the bigger influencers, thus the term micro-influencer. And then companies, as they are wont to do, started to go out and try to find those people and see if they can compel them to tell their stories. And what really happens is that the right process is a two-step process. You find appropriate micro-influencers, and then you sell the micro-influencer on your product so that they can, in a very authentic way, go out and talk to the people who listen to them in that same manner to use the product. But they've become really a big buzzword these days.
Certainly, and one of the things, everybody right now is trying to generate video that they can show on websites and on different platforms. We're working off a mobile phone today and trying to drive that out to people to view on mobile phones. Streaming is becoming more important. Being able to broadcast local sports events on, so someone can watch it, a parent can watch it on their mobile phone, is becoming very common. What are some of the key ways or priorities as far as brands getting video out into their customers and prospects?
Yeah. So during Obama's first election, David Plouffe said that if it wasn't captured on video, it didn't happen. And that was sort of the first beginnings of understanding how important video was going to be in this platform. And it's turned out to be just uber influential. The fact of the matter is that as attention spans have waned, just in the way that people want to take their media, people would rather see than read. And as bandwidth has increased, the ability to actually have almost any device that you have, be it a smartphone or a tablet or a smart TV, to be able to look at and see user-generated video. Video has become a huge part of any communications effort, not just a marketing effort. And anytime you're trying to say something in any way, shape, or form. And so there's been an explosion of video, using video, and capturing video and sharing video.
Absolutely. And one of the things that you mentioned is so important is being able to capture prospects' information and being able to bring it into your own website. You may communicate on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube, but you really want the prospect to go to your website, register, perhaps receive information. Why is that such an important strategy for brands to bring them, to really drive people to their websites?
Yeah, it's really very explainable to people who are millennials or nearby. You can merely say to people, hey, listen, I used to have a humongous social media presence. Unfortunately, all of them were on MySpace. Things are changing so rapidly. Platforms change, their rules change, mergers happen, people are pushed out of the industry. And in so many cases, on Facebook, for instance, you don't really own anything except for a like. You don't own your customer in any way that they're portable and you can take them with you. However, if you consider the fact that you do own your website, it's very easy to think in terms of the fact that the satellite, the place that you're going to meet up with the person, like meeting a person at Starbucks or whatever, is Facebook. But then you have to compel them to find ways or give them reasons to come to your house, so to come to your website and get the rest of the information, to get a more detailed discussion. But ultimately, you wanna own that relationship as opposed to leaving that relationship with the social media outlet.
So important. Larry Woodard, CEO here at Graham Stanley Advertising in White Plains. I know you speak all around the country on various advertising topics, social media. You've held responsibilities in different trade organizations. What do you have coming up this year as we get into the nice warm weather?
Well, a couple things I'm very excited about. One is that I'm going to do my first commencement speech. I've been asked to be the commencement speaker for Westchester Community College. That's a new one for me, and I'm very excited about it. And just a full summer going into a fall of a new speaking topic that I have. I have a new topic called "You're a Brand, Act Like It" that's been received really, really warmly at the universities that I've done it at, and so I'm looking forward to more of that as the year goes on.
And I know you do a lot of work up at your alma mater, Syracuse University. Just give us a capsule summary of what are the services that Graham Stanley Advertising provides for your clients.
Thank you. We're a full service advertising agency that seamlessly connects traditional media with digital. So many advertisers that have been advertising for a long time have done the traditional, and they know they need to get into the marketplace as it goes to digital, and they want to be as efficient and as mindful of what they were in traditional media. But they find that there are traditional agencies and there are digital agencies, so we're sort of a hybrid. And so if you do, newspaper, television, radio, and that's what you've done, but you want to know how much of that you should continue to do, and then what you should do on the new platforms, digital or mobile, that would be us.
Hey, Larry Woodard, great to visit with you as always and hear about what you're working on. And you've got tremendous background expertise in advertising, marketing, social media. Great to visit.
You as well, Ken, as always.
Pleasure. This is Ken Kreitzer for CBSI Services, talking business today in White Plains, New York.